In the Discord, Dan said, what kind of voice am I going to give Ulysses? Because he hasn't spoken on camera yet, on microphone yet. And it led me down a dark mental rabbit hole where I realized I have many strengths as a podcaster. I'm pretty funny. I'm good at remembering things. I'm a terrible voice actor. No training in it. No aptitude for it. But this season, I actually can contrive an excuse. Do you want to hear my bullshit made-up excuse?
Go for it.
You don't remember being a baby?
No, I was gonna say this season's all about dragons, and dragons, just by the laws of biology, their voices would be tectonically deep, right? Because of the size of their bodies and the thickness of their vocal cords. That's just how it works. That's like, elephant rumbles compared to like little rat squeaks, right? So my thing is that dragons are always shape-shifting their whole bodies and their vocal cords. So inconsistencies of the voice acting are not my lack of talent. They're just imperfect dragon transformations. Did you buy that?
Is this why little Ulysses as a baby is going to just sound like your normal speaking voice?
No, I've decided to go the other way. He has terrible voice control, so he's going to be like Terry Crews. He's going to be like, yo, It's me, Goo Goo Gaga, I'm a baby.
You know what? I'm here for it.
We're going to open up the first scene as a group scene, and all the siblings hanging out with you, little baby Ulysses, and he's going to be like, me want bottle.
Now, have you considered this is the Key and Peele sketch where the baby's going, I want milk, goo goo gaga, in a very threatening manner?
I haven't seen it, or if I did, I don't remember it. Can we just say I'm going to take the L on this one and do a worse version of that sketch?
Yes.
Did you all buy that? Was that
I like
convincing?
your honor. I like your honor on it. Yeah, I come from the world of professional wrestling. Half of the best stuff is just bullshit, so go for it,
All right, I appreciate it very much. Thank you for the support. I'm Austin Yorsky, patreon.com/Austin Yorsky. I'm the DM and NPCs. I know we're 15 episodes into the season, but I gotta remind you all, because we gotta support the show for the show to keep existing. So that's how you do that. And I got another person at the $50 level designing an NPC. Very excited. People love that program. I'm gonna pass it around to the players. Let me know about your stuff. I have crisp new notebook paper for your items. I'm so excited about the items.
Crisp notebook paper. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm Quinn. You can find me on Patreon, Weekly Manga Recap. You can also find the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, all those good places. I'm playing DiCaprio Devereaux. I am the Diamond Dragon, a wizard, a sun elf in my small folk form. And I have many items on me right now. I'm just going to list them off, Austin. You can't stop me. I have the zipper costume rack, the Gucci sunglasses, the Dyson sphering, is it Leomoira's astrolabe?
It's the Leona astrolabe.
Leo. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was directly a reference. Okay. Leona, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also have my perfume Illusion, Nev's disc, and then my newest item. I don't know. Do you want me to tell you what my new item is, Austin?
Nope. That'll be for your downtime. Although there is one item you didn't list there.
Oh,
I guess besides your spellcasting focus, which is a portfolio of different looks, I'm referring to your +1 spellcasting modifier.
Did I get one?
You did. I don't know if you wrote it down. I think I said this in the chat, but you have decided to take the first turn raising Ulysses. So while he is with you, you're going to have a +1 to your spellcasting DC and attacks.
I can't believe you've literally objectified a baby.
He's very powerful. He's, hey, it's me, Ulysses. You want to do a good spell? Come on.
I'm not going to put this, because I've normally been putting everything under equipment, so I don't want to do that. This is a human being, so I'm going to put Ulysses under allies and organizations.
I think legally he's considered a pair of vambraces.
I cannot stress enough that he is not a human being. He is a dragon of unknown origin, yellowish, goldish color. A lot of mystery still there. It looks like a leopard gecko. Biggest, icon in the Roll20, because he's the biggest in my heart.
Okay.
Once again, petitioning, replacing this image with my own leopard gecko. Get in the comments, write Yorsky. We'll make it happen.
I'll jump in now. Why not? Hi, I'm Laura. I go by Laura K Buzz on the internet. I'm playing Doc Hop, who is a warlock themed dragon who has a dragonborn form and being a small form and collects all sorts of small folk knickknacks and doodads. My collection of magical bits and bobs I have includes a trash can of holding, an out-of-date pop-up book of goblin history, a lucky plush rabbit's foot that got stolen, but I will have it back. I'm not taking it off my fucking sheet until I get it back. A child's first trading card deck of No Synergy, a kid's plastic spy kit, a chef's hat, and the Firestone Star. I do stuff on the internet mostly about accessibility in games. By the time you hear this, there will be a 6-part series up on my YouTube, a series called Abletop, where me and Carrie Waterton talk about board game accessibility for 6 hours. Go check that out. Also, just because my ADHD is not going to let me let this go, before we started recording this, I was talking to Dan about the movie Dogman, the movie in which a dog's head is sewn onto a cop's body. And
We've all been there.
Dan had questions about the logistics of the soul situation and the life and death situation. The cop is speaking while on the table, but he is apparently dying. So they chop off his head while he is not yet dead to put the dog's head onto his body, allowing the dog's body and the man's head to die.
I saw the trailer for that. They both give a thumbs up to the doctors before they are combined.
Yeah, they both consent to this, but I do want to read something on the official Dogman wiki page, because this is fun trivia for kids, you know. Officer Knight has had his brain die. Since clinical death is caused by the stopping of the heart and lungs, Officer Knight is technically clinically alive.
Wow. A children's movie.
His brain died, but his body kept going, so I guess he's alive.
I guess you can just transplant organs. That's kind of legally it's airtight. I don't know what to tell you.
Are we condemning this film as propaganda, friends?
Look, this film is propaganda, but it is also enemies to lovers queer romance.
I'm sorry? Between the dog and the man?
No, between the dog-man hybrid and the spoilers for Dogman, the villainous cat. The two of them end up co-parenting a child together by the end.
That's adorable.
Guys, I have to leave. I didn't know there were going to be Dogman spoilers in this podcast.
Any relation any relation to Monkey Man, the recently released film? Is this
Having seen them both, I couldn't spot the connections, but I'm sure there's someone with, drawing the red string of, how it's all secretly a cinematic universe.
Damn it, that means Dogman probably doesn't do hallucinogens with the trans community.
Well, the important thing, Austin, is we have Dogman, we have Monkey Man, we just need the 10 others, and then we will obviously have the full Chinese Zodiac, and then that all leads to, of course, the Jackie Chan Adventures movie, which is what I've been kind of keeping myself on this earth to, see. That's kind of, I assume, my life's purpose.
No one will remember by the time this episode comes out, but there also was an extremely recent film called Wolfman, so we could also go in that direction for the cinematic universe. This intro is going to be 45 minutes long, though, so we're going to need to move on. Briefly want to say, the Firestone Star is beautiful and a symbol of authority, but it is not a knickknack. So we will have to discuss how that works soon, because you cannot attune to it, and Rex turned it down when you offered it.
Yeah, I tried to offer it away, so it's currently sat in my pockets, and I'm gonna be honest, Austin, you told me its stats, and therefore I put the stats on my character, because why wouldn't I? You gave me a thing and told me it had stats.
Take that, Austin.
More
like Buffoon Man.
Oh.
Speaking of Buffoon Man, hey, I'm Dan. I was surgically attached to a clown at a young age. I'm playing Rex Maximus, Red Dragon. You know the bit by now. My items currently in my possession: my childhood anvil, my Ring of the King, my Gavel of Dispel Magics, a New York Giants jersey, and I have a King playing card from Hop. That's it. Let's get going. You guys ever think about how I forgot what the joke was gonna be? Move on.
Okay.
First of all, incredible segue. Second of all, you also have a stat cookie, is what I've written here. Because
I ate that, so I wasn't keeping that in my inventory.
Sure, I do want to introduce it as a mechanic, though, because you were not busted breaking into Andronicus's vault. You did not turn into an adult dragon and wreck the place. You were able to cover your tracks, and so he is still friendly to you all. If you find any new flavors and you bring them to him, he will give you a stat cookie. Because you're not leveling up your level 1 cheats, that is the only mainstream way to get better stats this season.
Is I found it in the trash a flavor?
You know what? We could roll about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Laura. We are going to set up the first scene here. This is a downtime episode. I've said this before, but every downtime is going to take place over an increasingly large time period because this is a coming of age story. You're all young adults and now you have a baby, so we're going to see those effects. The first downtime was a couple weeks. The second one was a couple months. This one is a couple seasons. It's important to note that Desdemona has an event coming up, and over this downtime, it keeps getting pushed back. Like, you keep hearing, like, oh yeah, Desdemona's thing is actually next week. No, it's actually 2 weeks. We can talk about that if it comes up organically, but that is kind of the background to hum of this downtime. But before you break up into individual scenes, let's get a group scene of the three of you hanging out. Ulysses can be there, and also so we can get on the same page about anything. I don't know what everyone knows as far as like the things you learned in the last arc, so we haven't got a chance to talk about them.
Yeah, where would we have our family? Like, what's our hangout spot? What's our central perk?
Well, have we taken Ulysses maybe to another one of Andronicus's restaurants? This time, a giant McDragons, and he's in the ball pit play area.
I love balls.
Don't shout that out so much, honey.
And DiCaprio, these balls are exquisite.
Remember to come back and get your flappy meal.
Oh, we're off to a good start this week. I can feel it.
He shouldn't be putting those in his mouth.
No, he's much stronger than you'd think. I imagine. Hey, no, you can't have two in your mouth. Spit them out.
You hear screaming because the two things are elves.
Look, it is important for building a healthy immune system, though.
They're struggling.
Well, if you bite down, they won't, but you can't do two at once.
Oh, God, please help us.
I think Rex will walk over and yank one of them out of his mouth and just throw it back into the ball pit.
You're no fun, Uncle Rex. Away from me.
If you're gonna eat someone, you have to break the neck first. You're too small.
You're not my real dad.
We just don't want you choking. It's important
balls.
to chew your food.
He's throwing balls at you now.
He's so out of control. I feel like I've tried everything. DiCaprio says she's like pouring a drink.
Have you tried giving him that? And he points to the drink.
For a baby? He wouldn't be able to appreciate it. They don't make this vintage anymore. The culture it came from is extinct. I heard this is the last bottle of the wine that makes you gay.
Oh, no.
Oh no, I've heard there's at least one like new vineyard trying to breed that strain back in. I can't imagine it'll be gone long.
Well, time is but a circular thing that goes on. I don't really have time for, I guess, thinking about that. Just stop putting your hands in your mouth. You don't know where they've been. I do.
They've been inside that guy.
Yes, and you don't know what he's been inside of. Could be anyone's mouths.
I was like, yeah, we'll have a group scene where you could talk about, if Andronicus is getting married or, Rex getting his ass beat or who won the contest. But no, it's just baby shenanigans for an hour. Let's go.
I do want to try and bring this up while here, because Hop has been trying to work out, like, am I supposed to offer the star to to Rex again? that feels like it would be not the socially correct thing to do. So yeah, I do think she's going to try and offer it to her fancy sister instead. Be like, is this fancy enough that you would want this?
It is quite beautiful, and I would like it. What's the rub here?
It just doesn't fit in my hoard. It's not...
It looks good.
Yes, it looks good and it's not trash. It looks good and it's not covered in shit. I know, I get it. Do you want it?
I should apologize. I don't mean to suggest anything about your hoard. I understand. Perhaps it maybe doesn't have the history and culture that you seem to enjoy from a lot of the knickknacks.
I am under no impression. I get our situation. This is a thing that was made for a competition that, like 100 years ago at most? Nothing. Like, it feels more at home with one of you two. And I offered it to Rex, and Rex said no. I think
Rex
it would
is currently, by the way, stealing all of the Burger King crowns.
I think it would equally fit in your collection. Would you like to take it off my hands?
Yes, she's going to say with like a lot of hesitancy. She's just like not used to a like deal-less transaction.
If you're concerned that it's dirty, I kept it in a box so that it would be clean when I gave it to you, because I know that's important to you.
I appreciate that. I think I'm more...
Where'd you get the box?
Don't ask questions that you don't want the answer to.
I appreciate the gesture, and I accept. I guess I'm just not used to someone giving me something without a condition on the other end.
Well, the condition is I was kind of a dick and put myself in charge for that one mission because I was feeling sulky.
Oh, darling, I don't even remember that. You're good.
Are we good? Are we good? Have a star.
Yeah, no, we're absolutely fine. I'm maybe a little bit on edge here. Mother keeps moving up the date of the wedding or moving it back, and I can't help but feel like she's doing it intentionally to me every time. I figure out exactly what to wear, and then she changes the goddamn season.
I don't think we know that it's a wedding at this point.
Well, mother's
I
event,
think you
I'll
can
say.
assume it. You can have assumed it's a wedding.
Yeah, I mean, DiCaprio assumes it's a wedding. Or an announcement.
That is something to talk about in character, I think, because if you say that, you could all launch in. I will just clarify. Firestone Star, a beautiful, dazzling gem, which appears to have a burning flame inside of it. +1 to your attack. You are resistant to fire, and you can cast Firebolt once per long rest.
Hot diggity.
Yeah. Before we move on, I think Hop will quickly chime in. Look, if you want this to be like a two-sided thing, next time you find some unbeautiful but interesting trash, let me know.
You see DiCaprio like kind of pauses trying to visualize what beautiful trash looks like, and it just like she's clearly not getting it. Like there's a very like confused look on her face that she's just like, how, but if it's trash, how is beautiful?
Well, play in the space. Someone, a small folk hundreds of years ago, got married in the most elegant jewel-encrusted crown, dress and tiara combination, and it ended up in the trash. It would be in the trash. It would still be beautiful.
Dan just posted a dress made out of trash bags, which I think is a plot point in the Cruella de Vil prequel. Meanwhile, strength contest as Ulysses tries to take the paper Burger King crown from you, Dan. 7. He's a baby.
Okay. All right. I'm honestly a little... Okay, functionally, I can't fail this unless I roll a 1. So let's see how this goes.
Unhand the crown, uncle.
25.
Okay. Holy shit. You send that baby flying.
Well, I think he's just he's trying to pull it off of Rex's head, and it's like mag locked to his skull, and Rex is not moving.
It's like that
You
scene in
laugh.
Always Sunny where they beat the shit out of those kids.
You're gonna have to train harder to take this from me.
I will defeat you.
When fighting someone bigger than you, go for the ligaments.
DiCaprio is going to say to Hop, like, he's actually pretty good at this thing, even if he may not realize it.
I mean, he's got the stubbornness I think you need for a child. The unwillingness to be shaken by someone loud and demanding.
It's a good countenance to have. It'll serve Ulysses well.
Rex points to another dragon child with a crown and goes, try it on that one.
Oh my god.
Wedding then.
Yeah, Rex will rejoin the group, I guess, at this point, as Ulysses goes to pick fights with children.
Yeah, it's roughhousing time.
I can only assume a wedding. I mean, didn't you find a giant wedding cake in there, Rex?
Yeah, but there didn't seem to be, like, a definitive topper for it. It seemed like Andronicus was taking applications.
Oh, I'm sure if my mother's involved, then it's got to be a perfect one. So, God knows how long it'll take until they find that. I guess Bahamut. I guess that's our god. Bahamut knows how long it'll take to find that. He's dead now.
You'd think the flavor dragon would have better taste.
Oh, fucking wrecked. Holy shit.
Rex, are you sure you don't want this star? I feel like you deserve it.
Didn't win.
You won best burn about a wedding.
If this event actually ever does come to pass and goes through, we all know what we're going to have to do there, right?
Show up and be complete and utter embarrassments and ruin her day?
I mean, that's fine if that's what happens, but I also assume we'll have to investigate her hoard.
Oh, yeah, that.
We know she was hiding something the last time we were there, but we weren't really under the orders of going to investigate it further. But this time, if we need to be a little rowdy, I suppose we'll be afforded that opportunity.
I mean, if you want to get back at your mom, feels like the best time is directly during her wedding, where you humiliate her for breaking the rules.
Well, I doubt this is going to be the wedding. It seems more like the announcement. I imagine her plan is to announce her betrothal to the second most powerful dragon in the land, and then have me go on stage and publicly humiliate myself for her. I honestly can't imagine a more perfect day in her life.
Now, you're probably right, but I can't get out of my head the vision of it being on the wedding day, and we find the forbidden tech, and it's that bit where they're like, does anyone have any reason why this wedding shouldn't go ahead? And we storm in going, she's got forbidden evil shit.
We'll keep that energy. We could still do that. Perhaps maybe I'll lead in that part. Even though it isn't a wedding, I'll still say, does anybody have a reason this shouldn't happen? If not, ever hold your peace and then you come in.
I mean, if it's Andronicus, and this is just an announcement, is there anything we should be looking for that he hates as blackmail?
I don't know. Oh, stale crackers? That man's so boring. I don't know what he possibly enjoys. And if he's into my mother, I question everything he enjoys anyway.
In the background, you hear a dragon parent saying, Billy, where are you, Billy?
Is Billy inside of Ulysses' mouth?
Yeah, I mean, that's the punchline to this setup. Thank you, Dad. It's Ulysses walking by with half a dragon baby in his mouth.
I'm going to have DiCaprio walk over and attempt to pull the dragon out. Because this just seems like a bad fight to start.
Strength contest with a baby?
Okay, well, I'm probably still not going to win.
18.
Oh, that's not good. I don't know why I decided to instigate this.
Oh, God.
2.
Okay. Yeah, you try to pull this other child out of Ulysses' mouth, and you cannot do so. And he's winning this fight.
Hold on, I had to look at my spell sheet.
What do I roll to tickle the child to spit the dragon
Aw.
out?
Sleight of hand, definitely, with advantage,
Okay.
because that's adorable. Yeah,
Oh, I've got really good sleight of hand.
tickle time.
28.
At 2-year-old 28 and 27, you're the tickle monster. Holy shit.
Exactly. You know, going in with aggression's not my approach. I tickle until this other dragon is laughed out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you have this like sopping wet child that you have to figure out what to do
Like,
with.
I'm gonna shuffle my body in between the two so that, like, while being tickled, they forget that they were eating another dragon. Don't worry about them. They're gone now.
Rex hands this sopping wet baby a phoenix nugget and kind of shoves him on his way.
Oh, before he's sent on his way, I want to be like, Billy's a bad name. You should have a better name like Puck. That way he
Okay.
fits our dragon world.
Wow. Okay, thank you. You're older than me, so I have to listen to you.
That child's name is owned by me. I'm going to get residuals every time someone speaks to him for the rest of his life.
Should we be concerned that Ulysses has cannibalistic tendencies?
Oh, Rex, you were eating other dragons at his age, I assume.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for all of
They, at this age, they're just learning what the world is by putting things in their mouth. It's nothing personal.
Speaking of siblings, this reminds me, I went to visit my sister recently, and she has a young child, and we took him to the park.
And he ate a
we
kid.
looked away for... Huh?
And they ate a kid.
No, we looked away for 1 second, and we looked back, and he was holding hands with a girl his age. They were like 2.5, and they were holding hands, and we're like, hey, you shouldn't do that. We don't know that girl, you know, her parents or whatever. So we separated them. A minute later, turned around, 2 girls, one in each hand. He was walking across the park. We're like, holy
Damn,
shit.
this kid fucks.
This is just born to be a fucking Chad. It's incredible.
He gets it from Uncle Austin.
So yeah, sorry I interrupted your wedding talk with my baby bullshit.
What are we talking about? What's going on? All right, ruining a wedding.
Yeah.
A wedding announcement. It's most likely not the wedding. It would be really weird if it was the wedding and they didn't announce that ahead of time.
Well, like, that does seem like a really weird thing to do, to be the center of attention in a weirdly unexpected way. That does sound like your mum.
Oh god, you're right. She could make this the wedding.
Literally out of nowhere, you thought this was just a little announcement. Now we're getting married right this second. Pay attention to me. You can't leave. It would be rude.
Could try and seduce him.
Tried that already. If it doesn't work, I suggest we just burn down everything. Just scorched earth, you know? Maybe I detonate the nuke. As a joke. A joke, to be clear.
I mean, it would take a thing we'd stolen from her and use it to ruin her day. There'd be some thematic stuff to that.
We got this from Rex's mom, actually.
Oh, I lost track of who we stole who from what.
I don't think my mama even knows this nuke exists.
Yes, she does.
I know.
Sorry.
I know.
Okay. Okay.
I wasn't sure if Rex had actually mentioned that to the group yet or not.
Yeah, Rex had told you directly. Yeah, she's trying to get the nuke.
That's right. Never mind. Ignore me. I forgot that happened.
Sorry, there's too many politics of who wants what, who needs what. Ugh.
Well, Mother won't get a hand on it unless I'm using it to detonate her entire little landscape from the mountainside. But, of course, we won't do that, so...
She won't get her hand on it. It might get her hand off her.
And the rest of her body.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we know who else is going to this? Is it everyone again?
Well, I imagine... Probably, yes. You know, us dragons enjoy our extravagant, overblown little get-togethers. I'm sure she'll have something similar in mind.
Austin, I have a question. How how well does Rosalind and what's it called? Desdemona get along? I'm assuming not great, considering she called Rosalind a whore last last episode.
I've been having a lot of people say very mean things. It's hard to keep track of. I think the implication from all the talk this season has been that the moms keep in touch, but that they all have like their own personal agendas going on. Like Rosalind resents the other mothers because that their kids are older and therefore have more authority and so forth. But like, I guess what I'm saying is they're like courtiers, they're like people who are playing politics, and they might seem like friends to the outside, but they obviously talk shit about each other behind their backs and so forth.
I could ask my mom if she wants to very publicly renew her vows with Dad on the same day.
Beautiful. Out of character, I'd love to establish something. I like the thought that that Dad would get invited to this wedding. Because in my mind, Dad has invited his ex-wives to all of his subsequent weddings.
Wow. Yeah, I will say that, DiCaprio, you were asked by your mother to attend this event, whatever it is. None of the rest of you have been asked. So if there is like an All Dragons event, it does strike you as strange that you haven't heard about it directly.
I mean, in theory, I could just show up and pretend I'm handing off the nuke.
Is this that did you check your invitation? Does it have +2 and you were meant to assume that was us?
I can't assume why she wouldn't invite everybody. What else would the event be?
She does not like me.
Sure, but she loves showing off.
Versus the risk of me, I don't know, quote unquote, embarrassing her at her special day.
DiCaprio's like in deep thought now. This is weird to her that that not everyone was invited. She thought she had like a finger on this event, and now she's like, why would it just be me?
Because I will hit on the maid of honor.
And I do live in trash, so I get it.
You take a minute to think this over, and you turn to the side. You see Ulysses has the Navinerals disc in his mouth.
Hold on. I feel like I have to actually do something. Can I like time stop or something like that?
No, it's mine.
I'll give you 12 Phoenix Nuggets if you put it down.
Finders keepers. I don't have a hoard yet. This is mine. This is my first thing.
Well, what would your hoard possibly?
The nuggets have dipping sauce.
Never mind. I hoard dipping sauce now.
Well, okay. Just, start with the good ones. I don't know what those are. I've never eaten a condiment before in my life, but I assume they're all ravishing.
The Jujutsu Kaisen special grade Cool Ranch.
Yeah. Ulysses spits the disc out, rolls across the restaurant, and just into a gaggle of other children in the ball pit while he wolfs down the Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce.
Rex will go retrieve the nuke.
Can I create an illusion of the nuke that he can play with? Because I have the ability to make my illusions reality for a little bit.
Sure. I mean, this is downtime. It takes place over, a couple seasons. So if you want to stop time repeatedly throughout this episode to parent better,
Whoa!
you're a wizard.
Holy shit. Can I do that? Yeah, I could be like, oh God, what was the show where the guy would like freeze time and talk to the audience? Was that Charles in Charge?
Ferris Bueller. Are you talking about Saved by the Bell? I've never seen it.
The Adam Sandler movie Click.
Damn, there's too many examples of it. Okay.
I was going to go for the very British example of Bernard's Watch that none of you would. That's not for any of you.
Oh, yeah, of course. Bernard's Watch with, Bernard.
John Bernard.
That's an item we're going to get later. Bernard's Watch. I'd have no idea what you're talking about.
British time stop media.
Okay. Is it a watch?
Yeah, it's a little stopwatch. It stops time.
Okay, that's on the table. I can get that.
This is like when I watched The Two Popes and I found out Commissar Rex was a real show about a dog detective in Germany. It ran for like 20 seasons.
Hell yeah. Rex is going to come back with the disc and say, you should be exposing him to curses early so he can build up an immunity. You got to start young. It's like when small folk do that thing. They have, plague parties? They cough on each other or whatever. And yeah, some of them die, but I think some of them, live through it or whatever.
If I'm throwing a party, it's going to be glorious and radiant. It is certainly not going to be full of infection and pox. That is extremely not beautiful.
Yeah, I think Rex has said his pieces here about everything going on, and he fully did not tell his siblings that he got his ass kicked by a small folk. He's willing to admit it to like the small folk that beat his ass, that he got his ass beat. He's not gonna go talking about it.
Yeah, no, that's a great character choice.
I guess to establish, what did Rex say about his time in the vault then?
Yeah, I think I could just say it out loud in character. I went down there. There was nothing of value within it. I found a cookie, ate that, and saw a cake. He does not seem to have really anything of interest. So it was a big waste of time.
You know, you got a cookie out of it, so I suppose it was a complete waste of time.
Cookie, please.
Yeah, I'm going to slide him some Flappy Meal cookies, which are shaped like, of course, the iconic Flappy Meal mascot, the Flappy Cookie Monster, which is just a cookie monster with wings, I guess.
It's already the whole premise of Andronicus, but sure.
Okay.
I thought that phoenixes were the mascot because we were serving phoenix nuggets.
Yeah, it's like a big sugar cookie with like the phoenix made of like the food coloring on it. But here's the real reason that these Happy Meals are going up in price. Every time you take a bite of them, regenerates.
Oh my, I just realized a great connection. Phoenix is extremely rare. I assume probably extremely endangered at one point, made a huge comeback because of your dad. And that's, they worked together to open this restaurant. So, boom. Improv professional. Thinking on my feet.
I like the implication that our dad brought a species back into existence so it could be immediately put into the farm system and consumed.
That was the first thing he did on screen was feed you a mammoth.
That is true. That's pretty on board with actually eating these animals he saves.
I mean, once they're brought back, like, what are you gonna do? Like, they're just animals again. You telling me you wouldn't eat a panda if they weren't endangered?
Also, I just think it's extremely dad energy to be like, yeah, nature's so beautiful, we have to protect it. Anybody want to grill?
Yeah.
He's got his Kiss the Chef apron on.
Yeah. All right, so downtime scenes. Quinn, you've made it clear you don't want to be built up to, so why don't you go first? Tell me about anything going on with your lair, small folk, and horde.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with my item real quick. So I got a new item. It is a cape that allows me to cast the spell Hallucinatory Terrain. And I am calling it, thanks to Dan, the Landscape, because it's a cape that changes the landscape. It's the landscape.
I'll be collecting royalties every time it's said.
That was incredible. You had a very sheepish delivery, like you should be embarrassed, but you shouldn't. It was good.
Thank you. And you should make sure those royalties get to Dan, because I don't know how to do that. So if you could pay him, that'd be awesome.
I will sue if I don't get them.
I imagine DiCaprio is spending a lot of these upcoming seasons trying to parent as best she can to Ulysses. I think it is probably something that's very difficult for her, but she is not letting anyone say that. So she is very much always like putting on appearances that everything is going great when like the minute she gets into her, her horde, she like immediately like throws on sweatpants and her hair starts like frizzing out because this fucking baby's running amok again. But her focus is on that, and I imagine she's kind of just in her mind there is nothing wrong currently with her small folk, so she just kind of keeps things as is. If opportunities come for her to kind of like trade her small folk to a different domain to kind of like make a deal or something like that, she takes it. It's just her way of doing things. She thinks she's giving these people a great life, so she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep this. We're gonna run it back.
I'm picturing this scene like it cuts from the restaurant. You're all having a family meal to you looking at your new cape, your landscape in the giant mirror you established. You said it's like, a dragon size. So it's absolutely enormous. And you're looking at it and you're, smiling approvingly. And you're like, oh, Lace, this is so great. And then, in the background, you see Ulysses tearing ass after Lace. It's like a dog after like a squirrel.
Oh, I imagine DiCaprio doesn't put up with that very long. I assume that she says, like, Ulysses, stop. Like, she's going to try to intimidate him, I think, to try to get him to stop immediately.
Absolutely. You can roll Intimidate or use any of your big wizard spells. Did you actually take Time Stop? You're obviously entitled to it as a wizard, but I don't think I saw it on your sheet.
I don't think so. I think I took Time Ravage, which I actually honestly have to look up again what that does.
That sounds bad.
I know, it sounds pretty cool. A 19 for Intimidation. I wanna just have like an authoritative parent voice. I'm not screaming at him, to be clear, but I want to make it clear, like, she's using her dragon voice to be like, hey, stop.
Yeah. You assert yourself confidently, and Ulysses stops mid like stride, looks at you and says, "I am sorry. Now I'm sad."
It's perfectly okay, darling. It's just Lace is a very important person to Aunt DiCaprio, and it is rude to chase after people whom we respect and admire their devotion to us. Lace and I have worked together on so many wonderful projects.
Where? But I wanna.
Well, I can find someone else for you to chase. Do we have perhaps one of our dragon folk is like a experienced track star? Someone who could perhaps, maybe a professional tag player who can give sweet baby Ulysses something to do, Lace?
Lace bent over, wheezing. Yeah, Mr. DiCaprio, I'll find someone in the athletics department. Do you want to take him off the shoes project, or?
Oh, were you doing something with shoes then?
Yeah, we're always working on stuff down in the footwear lab. Yeah.
Well, I guess yes, but make it quick. We never know when Mother's event is going to go back onto the actual schedule and stay there. I assume she's going to keep delaying it. Probably till she could find something not disgusting to wear.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, Lace is like, very good, Miss Devereaux. I'm sure she has to keep putting it off because she's still looking for a cure for her face disease. Whew.
Oh, excellent. That's why you're here, Lace. That's why we have you here.
I'm gonna go play with the other guy.
And what do you say when you leave the room?
Fuck. What do you say? Austin doesn't know.
Suck me long and hard through my jorts.
What the fuck?
I'm just asking, like, what does he say? Well, he's got to be polite. He's not being polite right now.
Sorry, Aunt DiCaprio. Sorry, Aunt DiCaprio. I'll be good.
No, you just ask, darling.
May I be excused?
Of course, dear. Run all that energy out. I don't want to deal with this until September sometime.
Laura's been posting obscure British TV shows featuring items which have a strong magical aura. I don't know if you want to talk about them right now, but one of them is very DiCaprio coded. A golden roller skate high heel?
That one was Dan.
Okay, that's a very DiCaprio
Yeah,
one.
they're working on the high heelys down in the footwear department.
Fuck off! Okay. Can we, Quinn, can you strongly consider high heelys for your next downtime item?
I'm strongly considering high heelys for my next character, actually. Okay. So, I don't know, Dan, if there's still room to change up my season 13 idea, I might have something new to go with.
Yeah, is their name Wheels?
It is now.
I am genuinely realizing that 90s British TV is a great treasure trove of single-use weird magic items.
The Box of Delights is so ominous.
I'm getting Jesus vibes from that one.
For some reason, it's a box that lets you time travel.
Based on a
As opposed
book?
to the Queen's Nose, which is a 50 pence piece that you rub the nose of the Queen and you get wishes. But they're always monkey paw style, oh shit, it went wrong wishes.
What happens if you rub her real nose?
Well, she's dead.
I don't know, no one ever used the coin.
Where does that matter in this scenario, Austin?
You're right. You get a very unpleasant skin disease. I'm sorry, I had too much fun with Ulysses. None of those characters were your downtime scene.
I was gonna say, I think I was supposed to talk to Dad.
Yeah, I think at some point during this conversation, you hear a loud thud in the distance as Orlando arrives, and he patiently waits until this interaction is over. And then as Ulysses, runs out of the room, very, like a child scampering off to a good time, you hear your dad say, "Good show, DiCaprio. Firm parenting."
I was gonna say I learned from the best, but I didn't. So, hold on. How do I want to do this? This is what I do with my real dad. Is I always burn him whenever he tries to bring up something like parenting related. I'm like, well, I didn't have a great example to learn from. Boom. How does DiCaprio lie her way around this?
Your dad is very much like Orlando, as far as I know, in the sense that the womanizing and in the CIA.
Okay, whoa, I didn't know that was going on with Orlando. DiCaprio's just going to say, like, I don't know if I'm necessarily suited for this. I don't know if Mother gave me the best example to go off of.
You're too hard on your mother. She's done a lot for you, even if you don't know it.
Please, we all know that's not the case. Why else would I be getting invited to a party to get yelled at, I assume?
Maybe she's reaching out to you in her own way.
Were you invited to her event that keeps getting pushed back?
No, she takes care of event planning for me. I assume if I'm needed, I'll be asked, so I'm probably not needed. I mean, you'd be surprised how much she does for me, even though we're not together anymore. I mean, I'm the big, strong, scary guy, but she's always been the negotiator and the politician.
I don't think you should just let her handle those for you. What if she gets her own machinations?
She's entitled to a few machinations after all the work she's put in. I only let her do what is best for all of us. She's better at diplomacy than I am. I prefer a kind of acidic approach.
DiCaprio kind of under her breath, I think, is going to be like, well, what's best for her isn't going to be best for me, I imagine.
Yeah, he's in his full draconic form, of course. He's kind of slinking around your giant room here, just looking around as he talks. And he says, Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think DiCaprio wants to kind of interject at some point and just be like, oh, did you get those opal dodos? I found a couple from my small folk, and I wanted to send them over to your preserve.
Oh, yes, Dee Dee. Delightful. I appreciate it very much. You know, I had a breeding pair of dodos back in '09 before the famine. It was quite sad. Where did you find these?
Some of my small folk have enjoyed going back into the old world or whatever. There's, I guess, a novelty to it. Those sorts of, oh god, what do they call them? Adventurers, I think?
I call them snacks. Little dad joke for you there.
Yes, thank you, Dad. I always love your humor. It's always about eating things. And I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, so I used to be into sports, but, you know, with the refs these days. Just dad mode activated.
Those are what I call snacks.
Yeah.
I think DiCaprio, oh god, I'm trying to think, because I imagine she has in her back pocket probably an emergency topic to talk about once her dad moves to sports, because she does not want to talk about that one bit. She cannot imagine a more boring thing, so I think she's almost immediately just going to be like, oh, you know, you never told us how you felt about Andronicus's vault being empty.
Oh, yeah. Not surprised. He's not a particularly ambitious guy. I was expecting, salt shakers and so forth. I think Maximus said he had a cookie, that's wonderful for him. But, yes, he's never been a threat to me. I mean, being a leader, as much as anything, is about setting incentives and disincentives. And what incentive does Andronicus have to plot against me? I ensure his safety. He could travel the world collecting morsels. Seems like a pretty great arrangement. Why ruin that?
And do you believe that being a good leader also slides into being a good parent?
That's an Austin pause. That's a your MP3 didn't stop working there. He says, in a lot of draconic cultures, children are abandoned pretty early. I think if you're trying to say something about your mother or I again, I think we've done a pretty good job considering everything. I mean, Maximus has beaten Barbus, a dragon twice his age, in a fair fight. I mean, Optimus just won a prestigious cooking competition. I mean, look at you. Your beautiful cape. You have come a long way. Did you not turn out all right?
I oftentimes wonder if I turned out the way I did in spite of everything, but I'm not really here to talk about that, Father. Well, I guess you came to my place. You're not here to talk about that, Father. I wanted to talk to you more about the way that you are raising Rex and Hop. There's so much pressure being put on them with all of these expectations that you sort of derive, and I just don't think it's good for them.
You're worried about your adult siblings? They're not Ulysses. They've conquered kingdoms, and I believe Optimus has 3 or 4 university degrees. Why are we babying them?
We're not babying them. It's just that they're both extraordinarily accomplished, but they still hold on to your every word. So if you continue to meet that admiration with more tests, I assume it's only going to do negative effects to everyone. God knows it didn't work on me.
Did they put you up to this, or did you just get this notion in your head from spending a few days with a wormling?
I'm the only one of your children who has any sort of notion to take the gumption on this sort of thing, so no, they have no interest in that. I can't imagine they would ever say anything, but I want to make sure that I'm looking out for them, and I do think that maybe some more direct parenting would be helpful for them. They're both accomplished. They don't need to be constantly tested.
You've never been short on gumption. I'll give you that. Robbing your mother, speaking to me this way.
I'm not trying to rile you up or anything like that. I'm just asking as a favor. We do things for one another, and I want to see you happy and healthy, and I would love to see my siblings also thriving. So surely this is something we can come to an adult understanding on, that maybe we don't need to have the constant tests for them. If you want to do it to me. I don't care at this point, but I don't know. I think they might need a break.
Oh, are you trying to resign from the Gladys Accords assignment I've given you?
No, I would never take that from them. I just mean, maybe you don't leave so many hidden plans to all of your missions. Maybe you don't make someone the leader to see which one of us thrive, Maybe you teach your child to swim instead of just throwing them into the pool and seeing if they figure it out.
Oh, Rex loved that. Come on. Caught a big fish that day. We all laughed about it.
Rex definitely almost drowned. I don't think red dragons are particularly good at swimming. In fact, I think recently the designers of D&D said, "Yeah, we redesigned the gold dragons because we wanted them to look like they could take a red dragon underwater and drown them."
Yeah, probably not his finest moment.
Yeah, I think DiCaprio is just mentally thinking, she's like, that's not how I remember it, basically.
Yeah, your silence speaks volumes, and he says, "Okay, well, I think it's working. I think Maximus is stronger than anyone else's age. I think Optimus is progressing tremendously. The Barbus mission went off without a hitch, but think of this as I think of this as you taking the initiative and the responsibility, and I respect that, DiCaprio. Why don't you all work together on a project to prove to me that you don't need my guidance anymore if you're such a big adult?"
Are you suggesting something, or you want me to coordinate with them? Because it is honestly quite difficult to get a touch of them at a moment's notice. Hop is sometimes buried under a pile of something, and Rex is otherwise indisposed. I don't know how to phrase it to be like, he's probably having sex with some floozy and doing push-ups, but that's what I assume he's busy a lot with.
He's either fighting or fucking. It's one of the two.
I know my son. I was his age once. I was actually...
I know, you have the wives to prove it.
Watch yourself. I was actually thinking that there's something we should be doing. We've been a little derelict in our duties, so this is a perfect opportunity. If you want to show me the three of you can work together without your father's guidance.
What are you suggesting? Because, I believe all three of us are very accomplished on our own accords, perhaps not necessarily independently from your inspection tasks. Hop is an accomplished, she's a doctor, and Rex has been conquering monarchies since, honestly, before I can remember. So, they're doing great at what they're good at. I assume what you're proposing isn't just another test in disguise?
No, it's a test in plain sight. And a family test. You see, well, I should back up. Have you heard of Anumina?
I'm gonna say DiCaprio has, but only, vaguely. I don't know if, our mountain is super notable or not.
I think in episode 2 or 3, you mentioned it offhand, and Rex joked that it was some kind of food or something. He clearly didn't recognize the thing you brought up, so.
Then yes, DiCaprio is going to be like, I have heard a bit of them.
Then you know well that all the lands of Arabella have these unexplainable things, these new Manon, and it has been causing some rumors, some minor gossip, that the dragons have not discovered their own Numenon yet. I do not heed such things particularly, but I think it would reflect well in the family if we found the Cookie Mountain's Numenon. And I think if we did it together as a family, it would be a great bonding activity, and you could all just say, oh, we don't need you anymore, old man. Why don't you go back to your zebras or whatever?
We would never say that, Dad. You're always welcome. We always want to see you. And that sounds like a lovely way for us to all spend some time. And honestly, we could all do with being a little more worldly. Perhaps this will be a good reason for us to, find some scholars or somebody who knows about this topic.
Yes, I'm not expecting too much. These Numenon things are very strange. Sometimes they, make you grow extra arms. Sometimes they don't do anything at all. Sometimes they're grape-flavored jelly. I don't know.
You know who I think actually be very good to talk about this with would be Viola. She has quite an interest in some of these supernatural things.
You're not talking to that little urchin again, are you?
She was at the event at Adronicus's place, so, we've passed by each other recently.
Yes, I saw her. You could tell just disdain in his voice immediately.
Yeah, I think DiCaprio's trying to, balance around that, where she's just like, I feel like Fielda has a lot of insight on these things. Shouldn't we be using every resource we have available to us?
Yes, of course. I'm sure she knows plenty of useful things. You know who else I saw at Andronicus's party? That Lady Falconbridge. Now there's someone who knows a thing or two about magic.
Ah, yes, Lady Falconstidge. I hope she's doing great. I've heard she actually doesn't know as much as you think she does. It's every so often, much vaunted intellect, actually a little over-vaunted, if you know what I'm saying. No, I'm sure she probably knows things too. Less things than Viola, but things.
Oh, I'll never understand you or women, anyone really. I mostly understand zebras.
Then why do you keep eating them? Is that how you learn?
They're fucking delicious.
You know the reason you can tame horses and not zebras is because zebras do not give a fuck about other zebras. Horses, they like a herd. So that if you can like break the head of the herd, you can kind of get the rest of them. Zebras don't give a shit.
DiCaprio,
no.
zebras were not endangered until I got to them.
I was gonna say, normal zebras used to be a pretty common thing, actually.
But yep, you and your dad can make some small talk. Is there anything else you want to say? He disapproves of Viola. He wants you to find the Numenon. He thinks you don't appreciate your mother.
Actually, yeah. You know what? I am going to say, do you honestly think I should be apologizing to Desdemona?
I think if you knew all she had done for you, you would apologize without me needing to say so.
What could she possibly have done for me besides bully me my entire young existence?
Maybe you should ask her. Maybe you should get close to her and find out before it's too late. We're all getting older. DiCaprio.
You could just tell me and I don't have to talk to her because, I might find out and still think she sucks.
It is not my place to tell your mother's stories.
It feels like it she's not going to say this, but in her mind, she's like, it feels like it should, Dad. Yeah, she's just going to kind of like, I don't know, respond in silence.
Life is long. Maybe next century, you two will figure it out.
I've been looking up exotic meats while this has been going on. It costs $99 for a pound of armadillo meat.
Oh my gosh,
wow.
a pound of armadillos, so many armadillos. Those guys are so... I imagine they're stringy. The actual edible flesh parts?
Rattlesnake bratwurst sausage, $30. Not that bad, I think.
You know what? In this economy, pretty affordable.
Although now that I think about it, there's a fat ass armadillo outside my apartment. Maybe I need to go into business.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much everything I have for old Dad.
All right, middle sibling time.
Oh, me? I gotta do stuff. I can't just sit here on this recording Googling whether you can tame a Zorse.
I mean, you can do that. That's great content. I think our audience appreciates things of this nature.
You can tame a Zorse. It's more tricky than a horse, but it is more possible than a zebra would be.
It's because they 50% care about the herd.
Yeah, they care, like, a little about the herd.
All right. Dr. Hop, what is up with your lair, your small folk, your horde, your life?
So, Hop has been dedicating some of this time off to, I mean, as ever, digging through the trash. This is how her time off goes. But she's been digging with purpose. After last episode, she has been digging through trash trying to find a musical instrument of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
A one-man band of an instrument, if you will, in order to try and maybe impress someone. And that is, I think, where we maybe start this downtime is with Hop tinkering away with trying to get this old ancient instrument in playable order.
Yeah, I don't remember if we gave this a name. You brought this up last recording, and you talked about it was like an ancient musical instrument played by like a famous goblin. I don't know what we call it, but I think it's kind of like one of those one-man band where you strap all the instruments to yourself, but with considerably more like hanging ropes that you just like pull on a rope and it activates one of the instruments. It's a lot more like you're sort of ringing the bells in the top of a church.
I think generally you would call that a mistake.
Damn, we're on fire tonight.
The mistake. I'm up for the mistakeophone.
All right, the legendary mistake phone from a famous goblin is your gift as you arrive.
Yeah. Hop. I don't think Hop can play this thing well, but has put enough time into trying to work out, like, as the door gets opened, can she do enough to do the equivalent of, like, da-da-da-da on the instrument as the door is open?
Yeah, roll me a performance check here without any proficiency in the mistakeophone.
Okay, 22.
Holy Lord. What a season for you, Laura. Your rolls have been incredible.
It's been beautiful. I'm coasting this season.
I will paint the scene here because we've never seen this layer before. I know where you're going. This is the tallest mountain in the Hooky Mountains, in fact. We've talked about this area being kind of like the Rocky Mountains in America, where it's a very long mountain chain, but not necessarily that high. Like there's nothing like in season 8 Grendel, which is like the Mount Everest equivalent. But this one is the highest peak. It is snow capped, and on top of the highest point is a fortress made of ice and steel. And as you approach, you see demons and devils and fiends patrolling in like black thorned armor. You see mostly succubi and incubi, just like different. But what's funny is those kind of creatures are most stereotypically portrayed as like scantily clad and kind of sexy. These ones are fully bundled up. Yeah, like 10 layers.
So they're not just walking around really cold?
No.
Yeah. It's, they're throwing out such pickup lines as, imagine what's going on underneath my 7th layer.
Yeah, once you want to find out what's under this full walrus-sized skin.
I'm wearing 20 layers, but no underwear.
Yeah. Lady Falconbridge finds this very funny to employ the legions of hell and make them wear just giant parkas. The front gate opens slowly, probably compelled by magic, and you see the blue tiefling that you have come to call on as you just play the craziest mistakeophone solo of all time. You go Van Halen mode on this thing.
This was meant to be just like a little like silly fanfare, and it's in this moment that Hop realizes, I actually know how to, I spent enough time putting this together. It suddenly clicked in my head how to play it.
Yeah, you didn't even realize the potential inside you. You just feel the rhythm. You go Whiplash mode. Lady Falconbridge squeezes with delight and says, "Come in, come in, come in! Oh, I can't believe you got it. Where was it? How did you find it? Who'd you have to kill?"
In much like the answer to many questions asked of me, it was in the trash. A lot of, I'm going to say about 30% of the parts on this are not original parts, but I did find schematics and I part matched as close as I could to the original. Hopefully that is okay. I've put little marking stickers on the replica parts that I've installed just so that you know which bits are original and which aren't.
How do you know that it's the actual authentic thing? What's the secret to authenticating it?
Well, a big part of it was no one else would be mad enough to have made this. Like there is no rhyme or reason to this thing. The more I read to try and understand how this thing works, the more I realized none of it makes sense, and any sane person would have given up long before this point. But there is some inscriptions on the inside, particularly on the sort of the neck of the sort of bagpipe tube here, a section here. You can see some sort of original inscriptions, and those are sort of done with very like, if someone were to try and fake this, they would need to have like a very high degree of understanding of the tools available at the time and the writing system used, and at a certain point it becomes less and less plausible that something like this was faked.
The goblin's corpse was still wearing it.
I'm trying. There's like a legal term for something must be true because it's too embarrassing to admit otherwise. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
yes.
It's gonna bother me. It's gonna ruin this whole episode now. But it's like
I think we yeah. It's one of those. I think the way that Hop will put it is it possible, theoretically, possibly, that someone did as much research as I did and had all the skills to fake the stuff that I could research but not replicate, and didn't try and threw it in the trash at that point rather than trying to present it as the real thing? Sure, technically possible. The most likely solution at a certain point you've got to go is it's in the trash because it's the real thing. Anyone who put this much effort in would have tried to convince people it was real at this point.
That's a more fun way of doing it. I have a team of Yugoloths, and they mostly try to summon the souls of whoever made it and then like torture them to get the information. It's like it's a pretty good method, but I like yours. It's fun.
I mean, if you want to go with that too, I'll appreciate the failsafe. It would really suck if I've been working on this thing and it turns out it is someone's cruel idea of a joke. But I really do not think anyone cares enough and has enough weird skills to make it this believable, and then to not just finish making the thing.
Well, I love it. Goblin memorabilia is really popular right now. There's kind of a mini craze going on, so it's so kind of you to bring it over. Do you want to come look at my stuff? Is there anything that catches your eye? I know that not all of it is really to your taste, but and she's showing you around her lair. Once again, this is like an iron fortress rhymed in ice. It is kind of dark. There are like large braziers, like full of fire that light the kind of dim corridors, but there are devils and demons stalking about in like black wrought iron armor, carrying halberds. There are distant screams. Like, this is a fiendish fortress.
Yes. So what is her hoard again? It's
Celebrity memorabilia. In fact,
celebrity memorabilia, yeah.
Yeah, she shows you, she has like glass cases of stuff, and it is mostly items from previous seasons of Dice Funk, which belong to famous characters who changed the course of history, and also just public domain artifacts. You see Mjolnir, you see Excalibur, things of that nature.
Does she want a Giants jersey?
Depends which giant.
There's like a Manning on the team, right?
There was.
Very famously was.
All right, that guy.
I'm not gonna lie, Rex. You probably should have picked someone else. He's not very
Fuck.
king-like.
Well, the quarterback's like the king of football, right?
Yeah, basically. And he did beat Tom Brady, which was basically like killing God. So, in a way, he's kind of the greatest champion of all mortal men.
All right, there we go. Start her up.
So, in terms of things that would catch Hop's eye in this collection of items, I think what I need to work out what the sort of celebrity that had this item was, and I'm going to talk this through out loud a little bit, but I like the thought that Hop stumbles upon what can best be described as like a tinfoil hat. Your very like traditional sci-fi movie, I don't want the aliens reading my brain tinfoil hat. I don't know if, maybe this is from some politician who was famously a little bit paranoid about like, oh, they're stealing all of my political secrets through mind control spells. Like, whatever the reason that this hat was worn, I think the story behind it is that it famously did not work. It functionally did the opposite of what was hoped. They were trying to stop their thoughts being read, but instead their thoughts were being amplified to everyone. They couldn't keep a secret with this thing on.
I'm doing insider trading all the time.
This is the tinfoil hat of telepathy.
Yeah, so you get the telepathy feat, which is a normal thing in the book that anyone can look up. I don't know if you want to read it to the audience, but your description is extremely Genius of Grendel coded. If there has to be like a character from a previous season of Dice Funk who would have had the reverse telepathy hat.
the open your mind up to other people rather than shutting it off tinfoil hat.
Yeah, famous inventor, only known as the genius of Grendel. Also a goblin, so this is goblin for goblin memorabilia trade.
Telepathic as a feat increases one of my stats by 1 up to a maximum of 20. I can speak telepathically to any creature that I can see within 60 feet. My telepathy is in a language that I know and that the creature understands. It has to understand as well. It doesn't give the creature the ability to respond to me telepathically, but I can cast the Detect Thoughts spell without having to use spell slots or components. So I can freely send my thoughts to others and then use Detect Thoughts to sort of hear the answers, is the sort of workaround I can use.
Now, are you wearing this tinfoil hat under the chef's hat that gives you cooking proficiency?
Oh, I'm wearing it over the chef's hat because the chef's hat is stolen, so I'm conspiratorially hiding the chef's hat under the tinfoil hat.
Why did I not assume that? I'm such a fool. That's so clear to me now. That's the only way that could have gone. Oh, wow. Yeah, so you are walking around Lady Falconbridge's fortress. She is, once again, a kind of beautiful blue tiefling wearing avant-garde armor made of what appears to be bones and fucked up magic metals and stuff. She has a very extravagant fashion sense. You could see what she had in common with DiCaprio. I don't know how much you care about any of that, but you did. I think you were informed that they dated at some point.
Yeah, and I think that, at a certain point that might be a conversation that comes up, but for now I think Hop is just genuinely very fascinated to have found someone else that cares about the history of objects, even if it's in a very different way than the way that she does. So I think this tour is a lot of Hop just following around being like, oh my god, so many of these items have so much history, and you've documented it so well. I really appreciate the degree of clarity you go into on the little plaques underneath with the sourcing and the sort of history of ownership as it's passed through before it sort of reached here. Oh, this is a wonderful trove of just documented love of an item. Ugh.
Yes, I've actually bound souls to a lot of the plaques, so if you want to hear a first-hand account of the item, there's a little bit of screaming mixed in, but you can usually make it out.
Oh goodness, it's so rare. It's so rare I get to first-hand find out the history of these things. That's lovely. So often, like the way I do it is just it's discarded items. I have to do a mix of assumption and research and sort of piece it together, but it's so nice to be able to find out why it matters from someone it mattered to,
Yeah, it's so interesting talking to someone else who has similar passions. A lot of the dragons around here just want things that are valuable or powerful. Like what am I going to do with, a weapon? Who am I supposed to fight? I'm the goddamn queen of the planet.
Exactly, and you start squabbling with other people over items for a hoard. They're gonna go for the big shiny thing every time. Having a hoard that is requires an understanding of what the thing is and why it's important means that it's so rare that I'm having to fight to scramble for the thing for my hoard. It's usually the thing no one's paying attention to.
Doc Hop, can I get a Constitution saving throw as you're walking around here?
Constitution, sure.
Did this lady turn down the heat to then offer her a coat? That feels like where this is going.
16.
No, I mean it's kind of chilly up here, but I think as a very powerful warlock, that's not an issue. Instead, you feel just a kind of soreness around your tummy. That's all with the 16.
Is this because I've not eaten any small folk in a while?
Medicine, I think, to know more about that. I mean, you succeeded, so advantage as well. Just...
17.
17's very good. I think you actually your tummy hurt during the last arc at Andronicus.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange. I think you went home and checked your stomach. It does not have any obvious wounds. You ate and it didn't change. So you don't think it's that. With a 17, I will say you think there is something supernaturally wrong that is maybe a growing concern with you.
Oh, okay. I know what it is.
I love Dan.
Ha, cool.
I'm just gonna write a message to Mr. Austin real quick.
Okay, is that how we're doing this?
I'll wait around. I want to hear whether you've clocked it already.
Okay, let's see what Dan has to say. Yeah, Dan immediately got my ass. Holy shit. Fuck. We gotta start quarantining Dan from the rest of the call.
I've been pitching that since day one, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there before. I won't say anything. I think it'll be fun to potentially have this come out in character.
Okay. I'm going to ask this, Austin. Last time this happened was at the cooking thing. Was it while I was around her that this last happened?
Not that I recall now. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with her.
Okay. No. Okay. I don't know what the social etiquette is around being like, hello, you've invited me to your place. My tummy hurts.
Well, you got a shit? Like, the bathroom's over there.
Oh, what a nightmare first date scenario. You have a lovely fortress. Can I use your bathroom?
Yeah, I feel like that's not the correct response, but I also don't want to, like, the only alternative I can think of is next time I see my siblings be like, my tummy magically hurts. Help.
Yeah, no, I didn't even mean to make this a wacky date cringe comedy thing, but she's trying to explain to you the historic significance of this text. She's like, yes, this book was actually used to summon a monster which destroyed an entire continent. Isn't that fascinating? And you're like, my tummy hurts.
Look, I think that Hop is going to deal with this the way that I would deal with it, which is ignore it and hope it goes away, because going to a doctor is a lot of mental effort.
I'm just gonna note this is what I did when I had my stroke. It didn't work out. I would definitely go to the hospital.
Yeah, no. Trust me, I know what's sensible, but also,
Well, just wait one more downtime. This may change.
I love the emotional honesty we were reaching this season. We're all just dumping out our family trauma, or all of our flaws. After a little bit of small talk, Lady Falconbridge just casually says, "So how's your sister?"
doing as ever. She's pretty convinced her mum's getting ready to get married, and like that's a whole bit of drama.
Oh, wow, that would be juicy drama. I mean, Andronicus is the second oldest dragon, so that would make her quite powerful. And you know how court politics can be. It gives a little bit of incentive. Oops, Orlando had a little accident. The zebras got him.
Yeah, it does feel a little... The machinations are machinating.
You know, I've actually been trying to get back in touch with Desdemona. We used to be closer when I was seeing your sister, but since we broke up, Desdemona doesn't really appreciate me as much. But maybe that's going to change, you know?
Yeah, why is that gonna change, you reckon?
Oh, DiCaprio said she was gonna fix things up with her mom soon. You didn't know about that? I assumed that you were closer.
No, I had no idea. Last I knew, we were still on team. We all hate her mum, ruin her life any chance we get. Was the deal?
Oh, maybe I shouldn't say anything, but I thought everyone knew because my incubi and succubi have been scouring the lands looking for the Cymbeline siblings' true names. And I was going to give that to DiCaprio as a little gift to say thank you for, fixing up that whole situation.
I do know she would appreciate that. I would also appreciate that. They stole one of my things and I don't like them. Little bastards.
Yeah, apparently DiCaprio has a really fun prank planned for them. Gonna put some souls in a mirror or something. She's so silly.
I mean, they're little jerks. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over them.
Sorry, is it weird when I talk about DiCaprio?
I mean, not inherently. I'm not gonna lie. The first time you brought her up, my brain did jump to was this also that you could? Is this all to circle back around to her? But I'm gonna quiet that voice and tell myself that's not what's going on.
To be honest, I don't know what's going on. I saw her and Viola talking at Andronicus's thing. I don't know what's going on there, so I try not to have any expectations of DiCaprio.
I don't think I can help you there. I don't get either of my siblings terribly much. I'm gonna be honest, I'm just excited that I have someone that I can excitedly waffle at who seems to actually be listening and not just going,
Oh, I'm listening big time. Yeah, I have many thoughts. Do you see this sword? This is actually owned by a vampire who took over a church, and the blade drinks blood. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's so thematically interesting. That's like a thing that feels almost purpose built for that person.
The world is full of so many interesting stories.
That's like my gun that eats buffalo wings.
I'm sorry, did you say the gun that eats buffalo wings?
Yeah, it's my gun that eats buffalo wings.
What's that mean? What are you saying?
Yeah, well, it's a vampire whose sword drinks blood. That's like if I had a gun that ate buffalo wings.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. That's on me.
Yeah, there's so many stories of so many objects. It would fill multiple years worth of ongoing oral tradition storytelling to talk about them all.
Yeah. Is your mom into history?
Not kind of, but a little adjacent. Less object history and more feelings history. Feelings that people have had in the past and experiences that they've had that made them feel things. Which is not that far removed.
Yeah, that's cool. I've tried talking to Sycorax a couple of times. She's nice, but I never really feel like I never felt like I made much progress in getting to know her, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the trick is the thing that clicked for me was realizing the difference is that I care about the memento of the history, whereas she wants to, even if fleetingly, touch the history.
Oh, I don't let any of the incubi touch the history. They're sticky.
No. Emotionally. She wants to be for a second I felt the thing, as opposed to I tangibly have the thing.
Can I get a perception check?
Sure, perception.
Touch the history is what Rex calls a one-night stand with a MILF.
Oh my god.
2. 2 for perception.
Yeah, 2 is not very good. I will just say that, as you walk around this fortress looking at all the items, you see the great things of history that are, from, Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology, things of that nature, and also our show. These are just very famous items. There are just very heavily cloaked fiends is the broad term for these creatures milling about here, and with a 2 you just don't get any particular vibe for them. It's just something that every time you go to a new layer you kind of have to feel out what is the vibe here in this ecosystem, and you don't get anything.
The vibe here is there's other patrons of this museum. Cool.
Yep, but she shows you around, and I think she probably just reiterates a couple times that she's really excited for DiCaprio and Desdemona to fix things, and that she'll have a bunch of new items to show you, and she's really excited for you two and your family to be happy again. So,
thank you. Our family being happy is like that feels like a shot in the dark wish, but I appreciate your optimism.
Well, I'm a cherry person. You'll learn that. She gives you a little punch in the arm.
I'm getting that.
All right. Is there anything else you want to do with your lair or with your small folk or anything before we pass it off to Dan?
No, I think that's it for this one.
Okay, so I will say the last thing, you spend all this time with Lady Falconbridge, you get your tinfoil hat, you go home to your goblins, and you see outside of your lair, where you're going to go to bed, is just a pile of corpses all stacked up outside your home.
Oh. That's no good. I need a... Is this of my small folk?
You get closer and none of them are goblins. In fact, there are a bunch of goblins gathered around, obviously, because there's a bunch of corpses here, which is quite unusual and strange. And you take a closer look. They appear to be humanoid, but I would say you need to do a history check to know exactly what their deal is.
Yeah, okay. 5.
Yeah, 5 is not very good. All I will say is that a lot of them appear humanish, but they have strange features. Like one of them has gills. One of them has like rock hard, like almost like chitinous skin. One has they all just have like unusual features. Like at a distance, they look human, and there's like a dozen of them stacked outside your house.
And it's not my small folk, and there's no, note explaining why these people are dead outside my door.
Correct. No, the goblins are gathered around, poking them with a stick, and they're like, Doc, she's dead! They're dead, Doc!
Yes, I can see that. Do you have any idea who they are or why they're here?
No, they fell out of the sky!
They fell out of the sky?
Yep. Just fell out of the sky. Can I eat it?
I look up. Is there a cloud raining people?
There's not currently a cloud raining people. That'd be sick.
Is there a trail of them so that bodies are falling from the sky, moving somewhere?
Let the bodies hit the floor, or it's raining men. Hallelujah. Which is the better soundtrack here? No, this happened earlier. So whatever the phenomenon was, it was while you were at Falconbridge's. Yeah, there are like a dozen strange human bodies here. I think. Is there anything you want to do? You got a 2 and a 5 on these rolls. So.
Yeah, speak with dead.
I could cast Foresight on myself to give myself a limited ability to see into the immediate future, and see if that grants me any answers as to what the hell is happening.
You cast Foresight, and you just see a future vision of goblins eating these people's dead bodies.
Okay, that much is fair and reasonable.
They make a delicious stew.
Oh, detect magic. What happens if I detect magic on them?
Yeah, I think there's some magic residue. I would say that these people were probably killed with some kind of magical ability. I'm trying to think. The way that the spell works is I just give you like a school of magic, and that is not applicable in this situation. So I don't have anything else for you there.
Okay, what if instead I use Identify?
Identify tells you what what magic item is. I believe is what that.
Okay, yeah. So not for bodies. I'm running low on options. Nope, I don't think I have any ability to find out why these dead people are here.
Sure, I mean that could just be the last image of your downtime is someone just left you a bunch of bodies.
I think that's where we end this downtime is I don't know why there's bodies on the floor.
Perfect. Rex Maximus, dragon.
Okay, yeah. So Rex, first off, is yeah. So for Rex's time off, what he has endeavored to do is he's already been lectured by Safety certificate, a character who he forgot to ask their actual name of, which I guess is really in character for him, was giving him shit for, fucking up Enobarbus's day again. So to make up, he is heading down to the old world with Humdrum to look for something he can give over as an apology. However, in preparation for this, and he will never admit this is out loud that this is why he did it, Rex has obtained for himself the doctor's coat of the Surgeon General. So now he is exclusively making his small folk refer to him as Doctor Your Highness.
Is the Surgeon General the king of doctors?
That's what Rex thinks it is. Mechanically, what this is given me the skill expert feat, which has allowed me to take medicine as a proficient skill and raise my wisdom by 1, which combined with the cookie brought me from 8 to 10. So I'm as wise as a regular human being now. And doubled my proficiency in athletics. I'm flavoring that as doing like 12-hour surgeries and stuff like that.
I love this because, this is a coming-of-age story. You were a young adult. You're becoming wiser through your travels. It really all fits together perfectly. For the audience, we said many times this season, this is post-apocalyptic in the sense that a terrible cataclysm shattered the old world. But then Arabella, where this story takes place, is a gift from the gods, which is beautiful and perfect in many ways. So if you're going back to the old world, that doesn't mean that you just find some ruins next door. You have to go under this entire continent that you're living on. The old world is preserved underneath you in the geological strata.
Yeah. One point to underscore: the reason Rex decided to steal this coat, and he will never admit it outright, it's that Humdrum is old and infirm. And he is on some level worried about her health and going down here.
Yep, seasons are going by as Master Humdrum Deepbreath is going on a long adventure into the apocalyptic wasteland. Paint me a picture. What does it look like you two traveling together?
How dangerous is this place? Are there people still living down here, really? Or is it just there's weird monsters and shit that's just kind of taking it over at this point?
Well, so the entire breadth of the old world is quite large. So there's probably pockets of different, situations going on. But broadly speaking, it's Fallout is happening down there.
Got it. Yeah, I think it's a lot of we see a montage of Rex and Humdrum in small folk form picking through garbage. Rex asking Humdrum what is any of this, is this anything? I don't know what I'm looking for here. And then a death claw comes up, followed by a death claw being reduced into a pile of ash in extremely rapid fashion. The tunnel snakes come out, they start doing their thing, reduced to ash in extremely rapid fashion.
You have to wear the tunnel snake's jacket over your Surgeon General's coat.
Yeah, he's wearing that now. For some reason, everyone down here also has one of the Pip Boys. None of them work. Rex is essentially utilizing her wisdom and occasionally stopping for the night. He's taking his smithing lessons from her. He's taking scrap metal from these places, melting it down with his fire breath, and hammering away as he tries to absorb as much of her knowledge as he can while they have time.
Can I get a survival check to see if you find where you're intending to go down here? Because there are a lot of ruins and, cannibals and monsters and it's, anomalies like stalker. So let's see how dangerous you get.
18.
Actually, not that dangerous. You're fine. You find the Kingdom of Wormwood, which is perfectly happy and nice now after it was saved in a previous season. You find the chill Radroach, intelligent anthropomorphic Radroach Thrycreen settlement. They're vibing, having a great time. Are you turning into your adult dragon and just carrying Humdrum in your dragon arms?
Whatever is like, I think Humdrum would be the only human being, or I guess dwarven being, small folk, whatever, you know what I mean, that he would let like ride on his back at this point. Anyone else is getting carried, but he's like, this old lady, her boat, like her spine can't handle that.
No, that's great characterization because I was curious. She is like, a master smith. She's teaching you. Normally, you wouldn't respect, small folk this way, but she is giving you all of the secrets. And so, yeah, that means a lot to her that you would let her ride you down there. And she says, what is that? That medal down there? We must check. It is shining most interestingly in the light.
Rex does the fucking Air Force like dive where they just turn and goes down at a really sharp descent. I think then he realizes, oh right, there's a person on me, and like deploys wings or flaps like a plane to slow himself down before he like skids to a halt on the ground.
Yeah, you VTOL down. Do you think by the time this episode comes out, there will be any planes left?
I have to take my first flight in 25 years.
No!
In a month.
Oh no, that's so bad.
I bought the tickets, and then 3 planes crashed a week later.
Oh, you're doing this. Can I get a nature check to look around this scrap metal to see if any of it's interesting?
Okay, what is that? Alright, this is -1, so we'll see how this goes. 4. No, it's all rust.
Yeah, Humdrum says, my apologies, this is not good. I thought it was something else, but it is fine. We will look elsewhere.
So, what are you looking for down here? This is your department of expertise. I know, Barbas always wants, fancy gadgets and doodads.
He sure does. No, your sister actually found a scrap of a very interesting metal. She damaged it while working it. I'm trying to find an original source for this DiCaprio metal. I do not know what we call it. Devolon?
Don't let her know that you're naming it after her.
Yeah, I don't know if everyone remembers that moment when you Quinn found the Megalon from Megalopolis, and it was too beautiful, so you broke it.
No, that's right.
I mean, is it a pure metal, or is it just an alloy?
That is the question. It has properties I have never seen before, so I am trying to find something that is evidence of its creation or its original ore.
I mean, I don't have any abilities that would necessarily help with that. Let me see if I got anything in this sheet. Can't make me fall asleep. Great, not really relevant here.
Yeah, just try to put me to sleep, Humdrum. You old bitch.
I guess Rex will ask if she has it on her for comparison. Like, can I see it? Do you have any with you? It might help. You're old. Your eyes don't work so great anymore.
Yes, here is the Devolon. She gives you this very strange shining metal that was in that episode.
Is there anything I can do here to identify? Like, okay, here's what I would ask. Can I do a history roll to see if this is like an incredibly valuable like special metal, right? Surely some big cool guy made a sword or a crown out of it, which Rex might know about.
100%.
Okie dokie. That's gonna be a 5. Crit, 25.
Oh my lord! Now I have to make up some shit. I was like, please fail. I don't know the backstory of Megalon from Megalopolis. Quinn just gave me this. Yeah, so there are a lot of legendary supernatural metals in this world. Presumably, adamantium and vibranium are canon, unless the lawyers find out about it, in which case they're not. With a crit, why don't you tell me what do you know about this, or what can you intuit about this, and maybe connect some dots from your studies?
Okay, let's see here. I didn't watch Megalopolis, so I'm a little bit behind.
So your life is just objectively better than mine at this point.
Perhaps. I'm thinking of it maybe as like I'm kind of thinking about like the T-1000, the liquid metal Terminator, but like gold. I'm getting that kind of vibe from this. And that feels like something like what would the purpose of this be? Hold on, let me think. I'm getting an idea in my head. I'm just trying to figure out how to phrase it.
Oh yeah, I would say that it's hard to Google Megalon because there is a famous kaiju character of that name. So you will have to Google Megalon Megalopolis for it.
What if you Google Megalon, the good one?
But yeah, I mean you described it correctly. It is kind of like a gold shining metal. So
yeah, I think maybe this is like I'm gonna say this is actually made from gold at its core. But this is like how when in physics, you know how there's like, there's 3 states of matter, and then you find out there's a lot more than 3 states of matter. Really.
Yeah.
This is gold that has like had a process done to it that makes it kind of able to shift and function in like as a liquid metal and be like reshaped and react to what the smith or the user's whims, right? It's the nanomachine son from Revengeance, kind of.
Yes, yes.
Combined, I guess, with a Terminator. And there was probably like Goldicus Anglesmith, the Golden Lord, who outfitted himself and his armies with this.
Okay, please write down Goldicus Anglesmith because I'm not going to remember that.
Okay, Goldicus Anglesmith.
But yeah, I think the properties of the metal are such that it's both the perfect building material. You can make lightweight buildings from it, but also if you get shot in the face, you get half your head blown off, it could somehow fix that situation. You should see this movie, Dan.
Great. Rex will point out that if this is, at the end of the day, you don't need to find more of this. You just need to figure out what the process to make it is.
Do you think the process would work on other metals? Could we have silver Devilon?
I think it would probably be a better idea. I have a feeling gold was picked because it looks cool and is expensive.
It is too soft for the things I would like to make.
Yeah, I think Rex will basically say, I don't see a reason why, in theory, it wouldn't work if you could figure out how to replicate it. Or at least no reason not to try.
Yes, if this is about channeling the will of the smith through the metal more than the metal itself, this could unlock an entire new field of metallurgy.
If Rex knows Goldicus Anglesmith existed and was a real guy, would he have an idea of where in the old world this guy lived?
You know what? If you roll high enough, that will become true. So, we've rolled what? Nature, survival, and history. Those are the ones I would go to immediately. Is there another roll that makes sense?
You want athletics? I got a 17 in that right now.
I don't think so, no. I mean, I think you got a crit on the history, so I'm actually going to let it ride. I think that counts as the same thing, especially with a crit. Yeah, let's say that if you think you could follow clues to the home of, pulling up the Discord, Goldicus Anglesmith, our show is out of control. You could find perhaps a way to replicate this process. I did not know this was going to happen. This is so funny.
What would the method to do this be? Probably it's really just, what kind... Humdrum's a dwarf, she knows about mining, so the answer is find, like, the kind of areas gold is normally mined from, and then determine, hey, where has it been completely exhausted? Because that's where you're going to find the guy who's obsessed with gold making a megalopolis out of it.
Nominative determinism strikes again. Goldicus just so happened to be
Well, his
involved.
original name was Jerry.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so you two can search. I mean, like I said, this downtime takes place over seasons, so there's no reason this can't be like a long montage of you camping at various places, looking around, having long conversations. This is like a whole quest.
Yeah, I think during that, like probably on like one of these nights, Rex is just gonna ask, "How are you feeling?"
Oh, quite bad, yes. My bones are on fire. I cannot see very good. I can't hear you in this ear anymore. So, bad. Thank you for asking.
Can I? This is dangerous because I'm not actually good at medicine. Can I roll a medicine check to try to like, I guess, ease her suffering?
First of all, very interesting choice of words. You do have your Surgeon General's coat, so please don't let your first medicine roll with it be a botch and you kill you kill poor Humdrum.
I got a crit, so it's good. It'll even out potentially.
Oh my God, she lives forever.
No, I'm saying no. I got a botch actually. is what happened
Yes!
here.
What? Fucking hell. Holy shit. No way.
Can I make a suggestion here?
Please.
Maybe it's the botch isn't that like mechanically Rex just fucking kills her. It's that no, she is fully terminal. There is nothing that can
Holy
be done
God.
here.
The dice this season are so interesting. They're in the pocket of Big Laura. I don't know what you did to piss off Laura's lobbyists, but you're getting...
I'm sorry, I stole, I bribed, I stole, I cheated. I wanted one season for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, paint me this picture. I think that makes sense because, you know, this is seasons passing and next downtime will be years. I don't know if she has years left. So I feel like you examine her and you're like, oh, damn, I am running out of time.
Yeah, I think probably what this is like flat out heavy metal poisoning.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
From years as a smith and like working with it. Even like she's a dwarf, so they live longer than, you know, just a regular human. But maybe like if she was a regular human, she would have died of old age without this being a problem. But even with taking precautions over the years, it has just built up enough that like there's just nothing you could do about it. Like it's the inevitable unfortunate like effects of her livelihood and the fact that probably at the end of the day maybe this could have been turned around. Like if she had been a dragon with resources, this could have been fixed, but by the time it was like apparent maybe to Enabarvis is like something to change, it was just too late. They're like this would be like we need to regenerate you an entire new body. That's not going to happen and you're already old.
Damn, it sounded like you almost developed class consciousness there. You're talking about resources.
I think Rex might kind of have internalized that a little bit. Like this didn't need to have happened.
More like Rex Marxicus.
Yeah. I think Rex, like he's like, you know, he's got a stethoscope potentially with an ear still attached to it, and he's like checking her out. And I think he just doesn't say anything after like taking out some ibuprofen and I guess like handing it to her with her dinner, like whatever meds he has taken along with this jacket, and said, wouldn't you rather be back with Enabarvis? And I guess I never. Do you have a family?
All of the dwarves at Barbus's caves are my family. If you mean biological, yes, but yeah, they are living their own lives. I have given them many centuries, so I do not think my slowest years are somehow more valuable than my fastest.
I guess. I don't really know how I'd feel if my dad disappeared for months at a time at his age. Well, months for me is not the same for you. You know what I mean.
I think I am doing the most important thing I can, which is making sure My techniques do not go with me.
Why not teach it to... And then he realizes he doesn't know the dwarf's name. And he's just gonna say, the gray dwarf, the one that Enobarbus is taking everywhere. Seems to be like his second hand or something. What's his name?
Do you mean Bolingbroke?
I think Rex will actually make an effort to remember his name, because he kicked his ass, so of course he's gonna remember it. Yeah, that guy, I guess.
No, Bolingbroke is no smith. He is, he collects stamps. He's normal man.
Oh, stamps? Eh.
Yes, it has some kind of fancy name. Philanthropist or something. Philatelist.
I thought they played flutes.
It's a real word.
I mean, he didn't seem to like me much. Had a stick in his ass over it.
Yes, well, you are young and you have much to learn about the world, and Bolingbroke does not take kindly to dragons who do not treat small folk with much respect. Although you're changing much recently.
I think from Rex's perspective, because he doesn't feel like he's changed all that much. I mean, he obviously has. He's treating them differently, but he'll just say like, I mean, I guess nothinged most of them. Do you know how many kobold nannies I went through? Most of them not dead by me.
This is what I am referring to. Your mother has a reputation for mistreatment and cruelty, so I think maybe we assume you are similar and do not appreciate.
I mean, I've never... Yeah. I think my mom goes a bit far. She used to tell me that you judge a dragon by the people who come to kill him. And the people he kills. I don't think it is a particularly good look for me to go around swatting small folk out of my way. Just because I can. I mean, if I'm taking a crown from some king and his soldiers try to fight me, yeah, I'll bash them out of the way, but I don't really care to kill them one way or another.
You say this as if it is a small thing, but it is quite radical for dragon society. I don't think your mother would be pleased to hear it.
Yeah, my mom's never really pleased with how I do things.
So perhaps Bolingbroke owes you an apology. He has judged you for your mother's behavior, which is not fair.
I think Rex thinks back to the ass kicking he got, and he's gonna say, I don't think he owes me anything at this point.
Well, I apologize because I am not probably going to be able to give you a rematch that you want. Forging competition with, lifting arms and so forth. And she shows her very limited range of motion, with half of her body being toxic metals.
Yeah, Rex kind of shakes his head and says, I wouldn't want it. You're not in your prime, and it's not fair to you. I've got 1,000 lifetimes to beat you. It's not the same.
What does the Red Dragon care about fair?
Never stabbed someone in the back, never cheated. I win or lose on my own.
How noble of you to hold back. Do you think small folk would hold back against you if they had your power?
Rex shrugs and says, I wouldn't expect them to. The strongest of your kind can kill some of mine. And if they felt that they needed to, and that dragon was weak enough to let it happen, or caused it to happen by, batting them around, as you said, them's the breaks.
It is easy to say that now, but if mistreated kobold rose up to slay your mother, I doubt you would shrug shoulders and say, oh, I guess the stronger one won.
Oh, well, yeah, of course I'd be trying to kill them. But I understand what happens behind it.
Okay, I understand this, but yes, I think if you are going to continue to treat people like me and Bolingbroke with this kind of respect of an equal, your mother is going to find out eventually, and there may be consequences.
Well, she can't put me in my room anymore.
No, but more and more small folk are finding their way over to your castle, and you are not there all the time. Who's to say what happens when you are gone?
I think Rex will look at her and, quirk an eyebrow up and go, have you heard something?
I hear many things.
You just said you didn't.
So I think you mentioned briefly about there are small folk that gather around your castle of castles, but you don't actively recruit or closely monitor them. But more have been showing up recently as word spreads that you have friendly relations with Humdrum and so forth. I think small folk we've met this season, like the best friend wizards from Sycorax's lair, or that kobold that you kind of.
He, I believe, canonically died.
Not Strangly, the strangled
yeah,
one.
we did. Rex did actively ask about that in his first downtime, and his mom said, "Oh, he got strangled."
That's true. I was just thinking of other people could be making their way over to you if they're looking for a better life. For example, kobolds who are tired of being cursed by your mother. And I think that the idea is just that if a bunch of kobolds defect to your house, she probably will show up and take them back eventually.
Yeah, I think Rex will have to deal with that when it comes to it, but his viewpoint would 100% be, this is my kingdom, those are my subjects. Let's see how this goes, Mom.
All right, well, we must continue looking for these Austin chicks. Discord, Goldicus, Anglesmith. Is there anything you want to roll to make with your tool proficiency, or do you want to tell the audience about your item? Oh no, you got the Surgeon Generals, yeah. But to roll.
So Rex does have to do one stupid thing to deal with Desdemona, and that is make an item to fulfill his deal with her. He's not giving her that fucking nuke. And he knows exactly what it is. He is making a statuette of her beloved daughter, DiCaprio, standing on a plinth that looks like a Navineral's disc.
Okay, that's fucking incredible. Can I get a roll with your tool proficiency to make the most perfect statue of DiCaprio Devereaux ever crafted?
Now, the ability score for this is obviously strength, right? It's gotta be.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
26.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. This rocks.
Yeah, I think Rex finishes it and kind of tosses it back and forth between his hands and says, I don't know much about politics, but I'm pretty sure she can't be publicly pissed about getting a statue of her daughter.
You are a devious little guy. The big guy, I'm sorry, you're so big.
He kind of nods, he's about to take umbrage with the idea of being little, and then sort of humps with a nod as he's called big once again.
Yeah, she's elderly and you are just barely an adult, but you know what she means.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you dealt with this lady? Because she seems truly awful.
Desdemona, actually, I hear quite good things from her elves. Many dragons mistreat their small folk. They are fodder for their memories. They are test subject for curses, but Desdemona treats her elves like sons and daughters. So I am sorry, I cannot, how do you say, talk sheet.
Well, if you want to stay on my dad's good side with the Gladys Accords, I might suggest that Enobarbus keeps his distance.
Yes, Enobarbus mostly keeps to himself. I like to say that Enobarbus is our small folk.
I don't really know what that means, but sure. Actually, hold on. Dan checks notes. Bolingbrock. He said something really odd to me in an incredibly vague way. That small folk could have more years. You want to tell me about that, Humdrum? What are you building in that little gem cave of yours?
There are many ancient technologies yet to discover. Who knows what could have been tested? I do not know all the devices.
I'm not even going to bother rolling insight. He's just going to say, I doubt that. Considering you approve everything that goes in the Horde.
She winks at you.
All right, old woman, get on. We have things to do.
All right, so I think eventually you find Goldicus Anglesmith's forge, and you can collect, any text left behind, any tools, and you get to work on discovering the ability to channel your will through metal. So that's pretty cool. Usually you're, more of a goof. That's
He's
that's
good
like a
at
real
one thing. That's smithing and killing people.
Yeah.
Well, that's two things. Counting was not the one thing he's good at.
We can count on this show. All right. So that's this downtime. Next episode, we're going to go to Desdemona's big event and find out if DiCaprio Devereaux is going to give the speech to support her mom or ruin the big day. On our way out, anyone want to touch base with each other? Anyone want to have a scene where you compare notes, ask each other questions?
Yeah, does Hop want to have a checkup with the doctor on her tummy ache?
Sorry, yeah, I was apparently muted. Yeah, I want to know what's going on with my tummy ache.
So I guess maybe this check-in from everyone is happening at Rex's house then, where he has started to undergo the process of making his small folk hyper-focus on one thing they're very good at, and do nothing else with their day-to-day lives.
The min-maxed minions. I love them.
I think he basically had them do the draconic equivalent of a job placement exam to figure out what they were good at, and said, "You're all right. This is all you're doing forever. You need something? Tell me. I'll get it for you, or kill someone who has it, or assign someone to do it. Whatever." But he has Hop get up on like a hospital gurney made of thrones, and says, "All right, what's going on? What's wrong?"
I don't know how to be more specific than magic tummy ache. It happened at the cooking competition, and then again while I was doing a tour of a museum.
I know I can't roll deception on that, but I do think it's very funny to be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, DiCaprio, you enter the scene. Ulysses is draped over you. He's like huge, but he thinks he's little.
Sorry, I owe you a mountain peak. Ulysses ripped it off.
It was no match for me.
Well, you have a fire breath. You're gonna be reattaching that with molten rock afterwards.
Wait, who has fire breath?
He's a gold dragon, or I guess maybe if he's a yellow dragon, he wouldn't.
We don't know what his origin is.
Are you not You not using your breath weapon yet?
He opens his mouth real wide and tries to do a breath weapon, and nothing comes out. He says, "I'm doing my best, Uncle. I have failed you."
Ulysses has been trying very, very hard, but hasn't gotten to the breath weapon part of things.
Mix some coal into his breakfast. That's what my mom did. The kobolds didn't like it.
We don't know if he'll take coal. Maybe he doesn't breathe fire.
Well, at the very least, it's flavor then. Activated charcoal is good for you.
Right now I breathe garlic. Ah!
Oh, yeah.
So yes, any clues about my magic tummy ache?
Oh, yeah. Austin, can I just determine what it is since I called it?
Yeah, there's no rolls needed because you are already narratively ahead of me. So feel free, Doctor. Other doctors,
Yeah.
sorry, Doc Hop and Doc Dan.
Yeah, he's got like that surgeon's thing that reflects light. He's looking at Hop, checking her tummy, poking it a little bit. I'm assuming this is being done in her like small folk form, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
In this case, he's gonna go. You get stabbed with any cursed swords lately?
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah,
It seemed
you got sword tummy.
Oh, I don't remember exactly how it went, but I thought the curse was like satiated and like not a problem.
Was this one of those the sword can't be put away until it has been bathed in blood sort of thing?
Yeah, one of those, yeah.
Yeah, his curse was that he couldn't stab you or couldn't stop until he stabbed someone. Now you're cursed.
Oh.
Two different instances.
Oh, what? Why didn't no one tell me? Why didn't he tell me that? What do I have going on?
Austin, what are the effects of sword tummy?
The effects of sword tummy is fun to say. Religion check.
Religion.
Can I get advantage of being the daughter or the son of the cursed dragon?
Sure.
12.
Am I able to assist in this?
Absolutely.
Okay. I had to actually look up because I'm going to use my Gucci glasses to give me proficiency in this. 27.
Rex just says tummy hurty, duh.
Yeah, 12 and 27, so the party passes average. I will say that it doesn't seem to be threatening Doc Hop anymore. It just seems to indicate there is still a connection to the cursed sword. In fact, you're thinking about this sword. You know that it was a sword wielded by Keeper. Can I get a charisma saving throw, DiCaprio Devereaux?
Okay.
Now it may think that you are now the sheath. That'll be a problem.
Oh, I don't want to be a sheath.
Someone out there, that's their fondest dream.
13.
13 is going to fail. I needed a 15. So while you're all talking about this, you're looking at Hop in the reflection of the medical mirror thing that Rex is wearing. And in out of the corner of your eye, DiCaprio, you see a coin.
I guess I can't acknowledge that I've seen the coin and just be on with it. I assume I'm compelled to go find this coin.
So you can decide what you do. The thing is, you see it out of the corner of your eye and you turn. It's not there, but you still see it. It is like burn in on a monitor. Now you just always see the coin in the corner of your vision.